Good morning, my friends, and how is everybody doing? I think I caught everybody in the pre-party, except for Kaleidohope. I see you. Jules, I thought your propane man comes on Wednesdays. Jules, how often do you get propane? On the members tab, we've all seen pictures of your propane men, so I have a feeling your answer is going to be not enough. Hello, Suzanne. JTB in the house. Blue eyes. Hey, Joanne. Glad you're back. Hola, Anna. Hello, Meerkamp. Woo! Tell you what, yesterday was a wild one. I don't know if I'm coming or going. I mean, besides it being the holidays. Before we get to all that, let's tell our wonderful, beautiful friend, Joanne Lane, happy birthday. And I hope it is the most spectacular birthday ever. Woo! Tell you what, a lot is going on. I cannot believe it's already been a year since that press conference that Huff did. Chris McDonough was there, where they showed us the suspects. Wow. Awen Flo said today is her dad's 75th birthday. Well, happy birthday to your daddy, too. Let's see. Tracy was the first one in. Pat K was second. Knock on wood that Pat K doesn't have any company today. Never know, never know. So yesterday on my Facebook page, I put up a post just saying if you are a YouTube creator, I guess I should just put any creator because not just everybody uses YouTube, shoot me a message. Well, our friend PJ, who is in the chat, I don't know if she's still in here, was the first one to reach out. She said absolutely. And of course, my question to all these creators is, let's get Michael Vaughn's face, case, and story out there more. Please, 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 please. PJ reached out first. Her and Dolly are going to get all over it. Our friend TCB, she's always up for a good deed. Smartass Trevor said, what is YouTube? Good one, Trevor. Trevor should be coming up today. And I just love it when creators come together for the right reasons, positivity, working together, instead of the BS that seems to bless us every holiday season. And if you've been around more than a minute, there's just something that goes on in the months of November and December that all kinds of unnecessary stuff goes on. I never can figure it out. I think I need to mark it on my calendar and just say, prepare when it gets close to wrapping presents time and turkey time, then beware. Juicy Tequila Bobo, she said, I have been talking about Michael on our podcast. Please put your link in here, JTB. I love your channel. I'm still trying to catch up on your Monday show. Please put your link in here. We do have Trevor backstage. Before we bring our friend Trevor back up here, who yesterday said he did not know, he asked what YouTube was. Woo, that was something else. I died laughing. Let's tell everyone happy Hump Day, and then we need to have a who's wearing pink poll.
Oh, guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Huh? Anybody? Julie, hey, guess what day it is? Oh, come on, I know you can hear me. Mike. What day is it, Mike? Leslie, guess what today is?
It's Hump Day.
Woohoo! Never gets old. And I'm telling you what, for a channel that just stays in our own lane and sticks to the facts, and we just really reiterate the information that's already out there, public. We don't go off on tangents about crazy theories. We hear a lot about, well, in my opinion, this is what I think happened. But you know what I mean. We keep it as cool and light around here as we can. But again, Jinkies, hang on. Jinky says, Michael is all over our trees. Jinkies, that is such a wonderful thing that you are doing for not just Michael, not just Summer, but all the missing. Absolutely phenomenal work. I can't give you enough shout outs for what you're doing. Welcome to the Mean Girls Club. That's what we've been called. So let's do a poll. Who's wearing pink today? I'm wearing blue. Well, it works. Whatever. Hey Jude said, JTB new sub here. All right. Angel Peace got her pink on. Some people are like, nope, I always wear blue on Monkey Day. Anytime that we're talking about monkey, they're like, we have on blue. Let's bring up our friend Trevor, and we're going to get to the comments from the last show. Good morning, Trevor, and how are you? Big round of applause for your comment yesterday. It cracked me up. Good morning, Trevor. How are you today?
Good morning. I'm doing well, and I just want to echo your statement. Jinkies is absolutely incredible, and the whole group does a lot for all the missing, including Summer. So big props to them.
Absolutely. And she just said, thank you, but it's not just me. It's all these amazing people that love these babies on here. That gave me a tear in my eye. It doesn't take much anymore for me to get emotional. That is a beautiful thing to say, Jinkies. And you were at one of the tree decorating soirees, were you not?
I was. It was the first one at the mall.
There you go. There you go. And as we know, no good deed goes unpunished. You've always got to have those people that have something shitty to say about doing amazing work. Oh, Rexy. Thank you. Rexy's making it rain in here. Rexy just gifted a Crime Lines and Lies membership. Who is the lucky recipient? Suzanne! Yay! Suzanne got it. All right. Suzanne, everybody grab your umbrella. And there goes Pat. Pat just gifted a Crime Lines and Lies membership. Who will get that? Connie. Connie got it. It's a different Connie, not Connie S. Thank you, Don, for the super sticker. Well, where do we begin, Trev? I guess we should go through the comments from the last show.
Let's do it.
All right, our friend Shelly said they need to WB these 4 disgusting suspects to tell the truth about Michael. I can't believe suspects have been released. Complexities? Sounds like Ronnie Lawson in Summer's case. Do police even care anymore? On one hand, I agree. I'll tell you what, it's raining all over the place. Angel gifted a membership. Jules gifted membership. I can't keep up with y'all. On one hand, I agree, but on the other hand, with this case, if you were in here yesterday when we spoke about the Bardstown case and the FBI said they had to get a special prosecutor sent by the Attorney General because there's so many people involved that they said the complexities make it very hard to solve. Do you want to weigh in on that?
Yeah, that's and to address that comment too, I think it's I think they definitely are. You're going to see stark difference in some cases with the way cases are handled, and I don't think they would have announced suspects if they didn't have complete confidence in the fact that these are the people involved. They're not going to tell us everything they have because we are not privy to evidence, and we shouldn't be. But make no mistake that those documents that are turned over to the court have very definitive details of how they believe that these 4 people are involved. And with, like you were talking about with the special prosecutor, some cases go very deep, and it's not just 1 or 2 people, and they'll bring in someone who more experienced or has experience in bigger cases, because sometimes that's the issue is you're in an area and you just haven't dealt with a case like this. Doesn't make you a bad prosecutor or anything like that. It just, It's like anything else in life. You have to ask for help.
Absolutely. And actually, a good chief, good sheriff, a good prosecutor wants all hands on deck when you're talking about, as they said, the complexities, because we know of 4 suspects that have been named. And what could be more trying than the abduction of a little boy in your community?
Yeah.
But I totally understand the frustration.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, everyone gets frustrated in these cases, and because it's so emotionally charged. There's no other kind of crime or situation that is going to garner this much emotion. You know, it's just the way these cases are. That's why so many people follow them, is because there's so much emotion behind it. So it's easy to get frustrated or upset, but these processes take a while.
So much emotion. And, you know, we in our society, we prefer microwave justice, like Law and Order. It's done in 45 minutes with commercials. Crockpot justice is really what it is. And it's on low and slow. It takes a long time. Sometimes it goes quickly. But I mean, in a case like this, God be with them. So when we say our prayers, we need to be praying for the powers that be as well, because they have a lot on their plate. And as you know, from 8th grade civics, they get one shot. One.
Yeah. And I think this resonates across the country, but ever since the probably one of the most known of Casey Anthony getting off, I think every case is kind of handled with an extra step of caution, because they've seen that happen. You know, it's always talked about, well, someone can always get off. Well, it happened. And so I think there's this extra level of preparedness that these prosecutors and these departments take, because they know that you're going to put somebody up there. And if you fail, you drop the ball one time, you have a small piece of evidence, technicality, you could have the best case, but you have a small technicality and they get off, never can they be held accountable again. And
Ever.
I would hate that if we got justice, tomorrow instead of, say, in a few months, and then these people got off. I couldn't stand to see that.
No, no. Especially, I mean, how close to all of our hearts the whole family is now. Knowing what, the hell that they're going through, to think that they would come home and a jury says not guilty and it's all over. Anytime that a DA wants to play top cock in the hen house and they rush something, the public might be satisfied, like, yay, go get him, go get him. But then what do you do in 6-7 months when they go in front of a jury and they're like, no? Because you also have to convince 12 people.
Yeah.
You can reason with one person. 12 is almost impossible. And I don't envy their position at all. Carol King, love the name. We have your back, Brandy and family. We are praying for someone to come forward and please help. How could anyone be this cruel to another human being? This is the lowest of the low. For maybe once in your life, do the right thing. You will pay one way or the other, and you get to choose which way. Woo. What's it going to be? What do you want to face? The judge and the jury? Or hell?
Yeah. And to piggyback off what you were saying about them rushing justice, I've got, a much lesser story, obviously, but a few years ago, I was in downtown Johnson City, Tennessee, and I witnessed a man get hit by a car. And there were a lot of different speculation. Was the guy hitting the car? Was the man in the car? Did he feel threatened? Whatever. The man, he hit him, and he was charged, arrested. It was, he was publicly decried. It was a whole thing. And then when it went in front of a grand jury to actually bring a true bill and charge him, they didn't have enough, and his charges were dropped, and it was expunged. So it's if they come at these things quickly, you run into something like that, and then it's just over. They drop it, and there's no charges.
Yeah, and that's the last thing you want. And every now and then you'll get a DA that's all about, tries to take the cowboy way out. I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, and everyone's, again, they're like, yeah, go get him. I'm voting for you next year. Don't you worry, you got my vote. Like, that's really gonna happen. It's not exactly like it's a presidential election. They're not going to get their ass out on a Tuesday and go vote for that damn DA.
No.
And then it all falls apart. Thank you very much, Just Me. She just put your link up.
Thank you. Thank you.
Savage Biatch. Woo! Love the name. I can't believe that Thing 1 and Thing 2 haven't talked by now. I can only imagine the pain the parents struggle through daily. My thoughts and prayers go out to them. He's such a beautiful boy. You know, they seem like very, very weak people to me as well. So it is pretty shocking that they haven't at least told on themselves. Sarah Wandra is with Stacy Wandra, having a hubby and wifey moment. Love you, Bowie Bear. You are so handsome. I can't wait till our anniversary if God allows us to make it. God bless you, babe. Well, God didn't. He took that as a personal challenge, and you did not make it to your anniversary. I love how she called him Thing 1 and Thing 2. That's probably my biggest argument with Brandon and Adrian. Are you really intimidated by these two? If they put you up to what happened to Michael, the abduction, are you really intimidated by these two? How many times do we say it? First to talk, first to walk. Do you want to be in there for life or possibly get a proffer agreement? I don't know. I think I'd be talking. Well, let's start with Thing 1. She has a lot of stuff on TikTok. Avi's my TikTok queen. Let's start with this.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see.
Only Sarah can take a beautiful song and totally pervert it. We hear about jailhouse Jesus all the time. They get in the pokey and suddenly they are loving on Jesus. But Sarah had the big switcheroo after Michael was abducted. You want to weigh in on that, Trev? I think Trevor muted himself.
Oops. I'm back.
Snow said blasphemy. It is. You're 100% right. Using religion, TCB said it too, using religion and God to your advantage. They can't think I'm guilty because I'm singing about Jesus all over my TikTok.
Yeah, well, we've quoted here a few times what Jesus says about people who hurt children. So,
You want to read us that scripture?
Jesus says that anyone who causes a little one to stumble or harms a child, depending on which scripture you read, would be better to have a millstone tied around their neck and thrown into the sea. Seems pretty straightforward to me.
And around the time that she did these amazing TikToks for Jesus, she put this up on her Facebook. No matter what you've done in your past, Jesus can redeem you. Interesting that she picked this, correct? Somebody was thinking overtime. No matter what you've done in your past, Jesus can redeem you. Well, you got to go to him first, girlfriend. I would start with the number scrolling across the bottom. Stacy, you're out. Adrian, you're out. Brandon, you're out. Remember, your friend Sarah says it right here. No matter what you've done in your past, Jesus can redeem you. So let's get to pressing some numbers. How about that? All right, here's another one that she put up.
I haven't finished my testimony yet. There's still a lot more because I've been out of prison for 4 years. And I've gotten married since then and had a lot of drama in my marriage since then. And we've overcome a lot of things together through the Lord that I don't think most marriages for people my age would overcome without God. Definitely not without God. But I believe in Jesus because of the overwhelming testimony of the times he's showed up in my own personal life, but also because of his word. I have read and studied his word, and I realize that it's so irrefutable. There's nothing that contradicts each other. I've also had many times, had plenty of arguments, I wouldn't call them arguments, maybe debates with atheists. And
the last thing she needs to be worrying about is debating atheists. Now, I want you to listen because something's going on in the background. This TikTok was uploaded, I don't know if it was made this day, September 26, 2021. She's saying that she's had a lot of drama in her marriage. A lot. Now listen in the background.
Nothing they say makes sense. Like, for instance, the Big Bang Theory. I mean, just look at a flower. If you look at a flower, it is so intricate. There's just a flower. That's one of the simplest things I would think is so intricate that there's just no way in the world that became a flower without divine intervention. I mean, no two flowers are the same. No two snowflakes are the same. No two persons' fingerprints are the same, even if they're twins. No, I mean, there's literally fossils of...
Hang on, off topic. Not that I would ever doubt Sarah. Don't identical twins have the exact same fingerprints? She said even if they're twins, they have different fingerprints. And she mumbles worse than Jody Sue Brown. Trevor, do you know anything about identical twins?
No, but I know something about talking in circles, and that's what she seems to be doing.
Okay.
And then I noticed that's a trend here with our suspects is just saying a bunch of words to try to sound like they make sense. Just throwing things out there. I mean, she's just talking in circles. She's just listening to her voice. But if you try to talk deep, you think you can confuse people. But I mean, I don't think anybody with a rational brain is confused by this woman.
Mm-hmm. And she mumbles worse than Jody. Goodness. And like you said, the circle jerk, just talking in circles. And here we have Michael Vaughn has been abducted. This is 2 months, 1 day shy of 2 months of his abduction. And she's talking about why she loves Jesus and drama in her marriage. It can't get any richer than that.
Is so intricate that there's just no way in the world that became a flower without divine intervention. I mean, no two flowers are the same. No two snowflakes are the same. No two persons' fingerprints are the same, even if they're twins. No.
Can anyone see the reflection in her glasses? Because we're going to have to listen to this a couple of times. There's something going on in the background.
I mean, there's literally fossils of ocean fish and stuff in the Grand Canyon. You know what I mean? I mean, there's just so much evidence scientifically that God does exist. That if God does exist, how can we take his word and not give it some, merit? I mean, nothing can be disproved. The Bible's been written by 66 authors over a period of 4,000 years. And all of them didn't know each other. And none of them contradict each other. Not one. Because, that's normal.
Okay, listen to the background.
Other, not one. Because, that's normal. Not to mention, just...
What is that noise? Stacy B said it sounds like she's got something weighing on her mind and she's begging for God's forgiveness, in my opinion. Oh, Christina said it sounds like a baby. Not a drama. Nana said, oh my God. Raven said it sounds like someone moaning or wailed. Let's listen to it again. Not trying to be grim, but, we want to know.
And all of them didn't know each other. And none of them contradict each other.
Sounds like a child to me. It doesn't have the same tone as a baby to me.
Not one. Because, that's normal. Not to mention, just all the plain evidence.
I don't know, Trev. You think I'm reading too much into that?
No, I agree. I've got my ear up against my computer listening.
TCB said, sounds like a crying child. Angel can't hear shit. Thank you for being here, Angel. I love you. Christina said, that's a child. Rexy said, that's a child. Let's take a poll. Let's listen to it again. The date of this TikTok was September 26, 2021.
Do you have the link to that?
You bet. You want me to message it to you?
Sure.
Okay, I'll do it right now. Because if I don't do it right now, Trev, you know me, I'm going to forget. There's Trevor. There's the link.
Thank you.
You are welcome.
All of them didn't know each other. And none of them contradict each other. Not one. Because, that's normal. Not to mention, just all the plain evidence is out there of...
Okay, also, she made some remember, that was from September 26, 2021. Now then, she made some very concerning posts in October of 2021. Okay, again, this is from her good old TikTok. Jesus lives and wants you to turn to him. He's coming soon. Don't miss his grace. This is from October 6th of 2021. They are stuck in the mud. Okay? Same day, she posts this to Facebook. October 6, 2021. Got to Melrose, New Mexico, and now I believe, because of elevation, Stacy Wanderer can't breathe and have the ambulance coming to check him out. Please pray. Okay, October 6th. October 4th, she posted this. Yep, October 4th, 2021. And she's freaking out.
God just got me through the craziest situation ever. I got stuck in the mud in Texas. I don't even live in Texas, okay?
Now, around this time, she was posting on Facebook. She was freaking out because for some reason she was getting ads for restaurants and stuff like that around the area she was in. Well, we all know how that works, but it was freaking her out. She could not figure out. Now, let me tell you, if I get on Amazon and I'm looking up an iron, I need a new iron. Ha ha, I would never shop for an iron. But anyway, as soon as I get on Facebook, it's going to remind me that my ass was looking for an iron. It's going to show up on Google. But I guess she's new to life. That was freaking her out to no end that she was getting advertisements for like local eateries around where they were in Texas. Now, this was uploaded on October 4th. Again, on the 6th, she shows the road where they got stuck in the mud. Now, look, they were supposedly going down to Texas. They wound up in Melrose, New Mexico to get a pit bull. That will never make any sense to me. That will never make any sense to me. Shelters are full of pit bulls. Shelters are full of dogs that need homes. Why were they on this road? What the hell is going on here? Talk about getting off the beaten path.
I'm only down here to rest. God just got me through the craziest situation ever. I got stuck in the mud in Texas. I don't even live in Texas, okay? I'm only down here to rescue a dog. And then I had a really severe attack from the enemy. And God used my husband to get me out of it. And I just want to praise God for what He's done for me. That's all. I just want to praise God.
Stacy B has a good ear. She said, is anyone else hearing cartoons in the background, or is it just me? Now, I wouldn't put it past these two to watch cartoons on their trip to get the pit bull, but let's see if we can hear something in the back.
God just got me through the craziest situation ever. I got stuck in the mud in Texas. I don't even live in Texas, okay? I'm only down here to rescue a dog.
I'm way down here to rescue a dog. Okay, going back, let's say we're rescuing the dog in Texas where we get stuck in the mud. Then why, on your way back to Idaho, did you have to make a trip through Melrose, New Mexico? I'm no Magellan, but that sounds like the wrong path to take to me. What do you think, Trev? Trevor's muted again. Trevor.
Sorry, I was still looking at that last video. I think I see someone in her glasses, not this one, but the one you played before that you sent me.
Oh, okay.
Near the door frame in that room that she's in.
Yeah, exactly. September Virgo says they give me chill bumps. Avi said, oh, for real, Trev. Use your young eyes for me because we're all trying to figure out what's in that reflection.
I slowed it down. And so I was watching because, when you turn your head, things like when you're looking in the reflection of a glass, things will move. It's like a mirror. They'll look like they're getting bigger and smaller. But something in the middle was looked like it was standing. It wasn't turning with the rest of the room. And I slowed it way down, and that's what I was looking at.
Okay, and Stacy B gave us all a reminder. She said, Brooks, he just learned how to work YouTube, remember? Everybody got quite a kick out of that yesterday. Roberta's World said she can't make it out. True Crime Beat said we need someone to split the audio. Yes. And actually, just last week, Pat K was telling me that's something that her son can do. So I think we're going to be having him work on that project. Sarah said, do they have relatives in Texas or New Mexico? My understanding is in Texas. The New Mexico scenario doesn't make any sense to me. Talk about taking the long way home. But she said she's there to rescue a dog.
God just got me through the craziest situation ever. I got stuck in the mud in Texas. I don't even live in Texas, okay? I'm only down here to rescue a dog. And then I had a really severe attack from the enemy. And God used my husband to get me out of it. And I just want to praise God for what He's done for me. That's all. I just want to praise God for what He's done for me and thank Him. And I had to tell you guys about it because I'm just really dumbfounded, to be honest with you.
Look, this is not an end of the world scenario. Why is she having such a breakdown about getting stuck in the mud? Makes no sense. None. Hang on, I'm trying to find a picture of the puppy. Give me a second. Okay. There's several pictures of Stacy with the puppy. Its name is Oakley. I don't know who has the dog now, but on March 24th, 2022, she uploaded this picture of one of the suspects, Brandon Shirtliff, friend Brandon with our dog Oakley. Nothing like suspects in such a major and heinous crime using social media to fill in blanks for law enforcement. You know? Dates, times, tagged. Her own voice on TikTok. Timothy said they already had Oakley. I don't know. I don't know these people. Supposedly, they went down there to rescue this dog, came back, and said they rescued this dog. I don't think they were rescuing a dog. They didn't need to go down there and rescue a dog.
God used my husband to get me out of it. And I just want to praise God for what He's done for me. That's all. I just want to praise God for what He's done for me and thank Him. And I had to tell you guys about it because I'm just really dumbfounded, to be honest with you. God can get you out of anything. Anything.
Okay, we're going to come back to that. This does not look like a pit bull to me, so I don't know why they kept posting on Facebook that they went down there to get a pit bull. I mean, I'm not a dog expert, but I've seen enough pit bulls to know this doesn't look like a pit bull. And this also doesn't, I just don't understand a trip to Texas to pick up this puppy. Mind you, they didn't have enough money to get towed. They don't have jobs. The only source of income they have is this, the old use your own car taxi. Hey, this is Sarah Wandera, owner of Faith Taxi LLC in Fruitland, Idaho. We are going to be rapidly growing, so please, if you have a car and are in the Treasure Valley, even all the way to Boise, I'm going to be needing possible part-time drivers for now. Work on your own availability, use your own car, keep your own proceeds, 1099, be your own boss in a sense. We work a bit differently around here than your typical taxi. Please, no, in capital letters, messages on this post about the job. You have to contact her direct message because, as she said, we work a little bit differently around here. That would be one job I would have to say no bueno to. I'd run straight the hell away from that. I know what I won't run straight away from, though, is umbrella time because Rexy's making it rain. Thank you, Rexy. So if you're hurting that bad for money, would you really drive from Idaho down to Texas, and Texas is a huge state. Let's just say you just creeped across the border. Colorado into Texas, Oklahoma into Texas. That's a long ways to go to pick up a puppy, particularly when your shelter is full of puppies. Does it make sense to you, Trev?
No, and like we talk about, when things don't make sense, there's probably a reason.
Probably a reason. All right, Evil Exists put this together, and I just absolutely adore Evil Exists, the way that he or she puts clips together. Angel said, I don't believe her at all. I don't either. Crystal Lynn said, in my opinion, I bet they all draw checks. I have a feeling that's the case as well.
Vaughn. He went missing last year, and after all this time, Sarah Wonder claims that the Most High God told her who did it. Looking at Sarah's TikTok account, she posts a lot of religious stuff on there, scriptures and songs. Let's take a look.
I probably shouldn't post this video because maybe TikTok will realize the error of their ways and fix it, and then maybe less people will see it. But when they censor our Christian videos and put like that little censor thing over it, like this is, ooh, it's taboo. Don't they realize that people who are not trying to be believers are probably going to look at it more because they like that kind of stuff, and then they find out it's about Jesus, and then they finally get ministered to? Just saying. Praise God, he uses everything. So I just wanted to post this that
Between her and Don Wells, they have got a lot of religion going on. Do they not, Trev? I'm hoping TikTok sees the error of their ways.
Yeah,
You've
and
got
it's this like deep like conspiracy level of religion. And I'm very religious, but I also don't buy into every single thing that the internet tells me is going on. And she's just they push these I don't know, just crazy ideas, and they prop up religion so much as like a barrier between being judged.
Good call. And Wiz said it's a common tactic, and I think when they go, I'm going to say overboard with it and kind of cross into crazy, I think it's out of guilt, and they think in some way, if they tell the internet what a good person they are, it's going to stick somewhere. Thank you so much, Angel P. She just gifted a Crime Lines and Lies membership.
a lot of my videos are encouraging to some people or maybe discouraging to others. I don't know, but that's not my hope. I don't hope to discourage anyone. Anyway, my point is that I am not perfect, and there's only one reason why, as a believer, that I'm going to heaven, and that's because Jesus gave me that gift. There's no good person on earth that's going to heaven because of their good works. Because your good works can't outweigh your bad works. See, Jesus is perfect. God is perfect. He's holy. There is no bad works in him. His good works don't outweigh his bad works because there is no bad works. And he is our standard. So none of us can do it. Man, sorry. It just hit me so hard. I don't deserve half the stuff I've been given. Not even anything, really. God just keeps blessing me and I don't deserve it. And I can't pay it back. I owe everything to him.
Well, pal. Wait, was that a bug? No. It saw me, right? It's gonna do though.
Now, the little girl that they caught on the Ring camera that kept coming up saying, "Hi, Stacy," sweet little girl. Why they felt the need to put that little girl on the internet scares the hell out of me. I'm of the belief that the first time you get caught is not the first time you tried. I have been wondering if they were not trying to lure this little girl in as well. Because, I mean, I have an Arlo camera. I see kids, people, dogs, Amazon, UPS walk by on my camera all the time. I don't feel the need to download it and put it on the internet.
Yes.
They paid special interest to this little girl on the Ring camera. They made sure to download it and keep it. Does that kind of set you off a little bit, Trev?
Oh yeah, and like you said, these people. There's two things: people that have any crimes against children. It's that they one will reoffend, but also that they, when they're caught, it's usually not the first time. Whether it's attempted or at least plotted to take a child or something of that nature, and that's the way I see it. And so in this situation, yeah, why in your mind is that an okay thing to do? Why is it ever okay to have a video of anybody's child and put it out? I don't like that at all.
I don't like it at all either. And it almost makes me wonder if a lot of her internet posting was kind of the Don Wells philosophy. If I keep telling the internet what a Christian and good person I am, it's going to resonate with somebody. So this could easily have been, oh, look, we're safe around children. Look at this little girl that keeps coming up saying, "Hi, Stacy," and waving and running off. Whoever this little girl's parents are, I'd take her down to the police station so she can let them know gently what was going on in that house. Or do you think that's too much, Trev?
No, not at all.
Because this creeps me out.
Well, pal. Wait, was that a bug? No. It saw me, right? It's gonna do though.
Sometimes it's really hard to keep being vulnerable enough to let God use you. Because people don't understand how vulnerable you're really being with them. They just think that, oh, Sarah's an open person. But it's actually really hard sometimes to be that vulnerable with people when you know that they don't even understand, and like they might just completely stomp on your feelings and don't even really care about them. But it's actually really important to just keep pushing and letting Jesus use you no matter how much it hurts your feelings, no matter how vulnerable you are. Okay, so I wanted to talk about something that's been put on my heart. Okay. Sorry, my hair's a mess. You see these things? Looks pretty innocent, right? It's a cookie with a little piece of paper in it that says something and some numbers on it. It's actually not that innocent. You see, when you open this little horoscope thing, or whatever it is, and you think, oh, it's not real, I don't even believe in it, so it doesn't matter if I read it right. If anyone's read their Bible, what about that prophet that consulted the medium when he wasn't supposed to? And the medium said, you shouldn't be consulting me. So do you think that by reading this, you're being innocent? You're actually consulting a demon when you read this. Yes, a demon. So,
Okay, this craziness about the damn fortune cookie would make perfect sense to Daisy and 555555. Come on. It's a fortune cookie. We don't need to be taking up Al Gore's internet and using time talking about demons hiding in fortune cookies. If they read their Bible, what does the Bible say about harming children? What does the Bible say about kidnapping? What does the Bible say about taking things that aren't yours? What does the Bible say about lying? But we are going to, Daisy Jr. here is going to make a TikTok about effing fortune cookies, Trev.
It's sacrilegious, and it's a complete slap in the face to people who actually believe and have faith, not to hide from anything, but to live their life. And that's exactly what she's doing. Like I said, it makes these people be able to put up a barrier between themselves and their guilt, because they feel like that religion will bail them out. They can bail themselves out of any conversation with religion. You can't judge me because religion. I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect. Well, I've heard that before from others as well. Doesn't mean what you did was right just because you're not perfect. There's levels to doing things wrong. I'm not perfect because I lied to my mom when I was 6, or I'm not perfect because I kidnapped a child. Those are two very different things that make you imperfect. So,
boom, exactly. There's a big difference between reading your fortune out of a damn stale cookie and abducting a child from your neighborhood and destroying his life and his family's. This is not a insert, I'm not perfect. Well said, Trevor.
you have demons that watched you your whole life. They can read through this. They know what's in this one. And yeah, they don't know everything, but they can manipulate which one you get. So it just seems like it's so personal to you. But it's not. You're literally consulting demons when you read these. Looks so innocent, right? It's just a cookie. But it's not just a cookie. And it's not just that. Do I eat a panda? Yeah, I eat a panda. Do I read these? No. Do I think pandas sacrificing to demons all their food? No. Not at all. But this is definitely not good. So what do I do with this? I throw it away. Did I used to? No. I'm just as guilty as you. So, but God's put it on my heart that these things are actually consulting demons when you read the little piece of paper and think to yourself, oh, I don't believe in it, so it doesn't matter if I read it, right? That's like saying, oh, I don't believe in a medium and palm reading, but let me just go check it out real quick. No, you're going there. Some part of you is either curious or you believe in it. So, yeah, stop fooling yourself.
I don't think fortune cookies are the problem. Let me tell you what a bad Baptist I am. I am known to put lottery, scratch off tickets, and fortune cookies in Christmas stockings. What are you going to do with me, Trev? What are you all going to do?
straight to the altar. We're taking you right now in the show. We're going.
Mm-hmm. Straight to hell.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm not, I'm no philosopher, but I would have to say that I think out of two different things, the bigger problem than fortune cookies are psychotic people who kidnap children. But that's just me. I don't know. Maybe I'm on a limb there.
Oh, I think you're right on. NC Mountain Girl said I do too, Brooks. I do lotto tickets. Avie, I do too. I do it too. Don't tell Sarah. Don't tell Sarah. I think there's more to the world's problems than some lucky numbers in a stale ass cookie. And you cannot tell me her ass didn't eat that cookie.
It's,
Now,
it's food. She ate it.
she had no problem hitting the buffet and getting 3 or 4 plates, but she grabs a cookie to tell everybody how demonic it is. She had to have been at a restaurant that serves fortune cookies to have it in her damn hand.
Does she not know plates are of the devil? We only eat out of bowls here.
Wears me out. I saw in chat Rexy said, is Adrian here? I have a feeling Adrian's watching. Stacy might be watching. Brandon and his mama for sure are. Since we have their attention, and I bet they're on their edge of their seat listening to this about fortune cookies, I want them to take a gander at this.
What is that, monkey? Bear. What is that? Hi.
Hi there.
Hi, bear. Hi, baby.
All right, where'd he go? Oh, he went back the other way.
Hi, Dad. Whoa! Whoa!
Monkey.
He's fighting with his shadow. Giddy up.
To quote Brandy Neil, how could you? How could you? What would even possess you to take this beautiful little boy away from his mama, his daddy, his sister, his brother, his little sister, and all those that love him? She said it best. How could you? Slim Hauser says, Tina, why is Brandon's reflection in Sarah's glasses? Come on panel and tell us about it. Rexy said, come on, Sarah, you born again Christian. Tell the truth. How could you? The title of today's show is He Could Be Your Son. Well, he could be your child. I'll put it that way because not everybody has sons. I saw this post on Facebook several years ago, November 24th, 2021, and to this day, it still breaks my heart. I took the woman's name out because she may not want to be mentioned, but she said, I was asked why I keep sharing, etc., and my simple response was, because he could be my son. I wanted to say a lot more, but the truth is he could be my son. He could be your nephew. He could be your neighbor. And that's why I share, because it takes a second. I won't stop helping Brandy find her son. We are his army. Please share and keep his family in your prayers. What a powerful post. Sometimes the simplest things hit hardest. He could be your nephew. He could be your neighbor. He could be your son. To this day, that gives me chills. How long are you going to continue hurting this family, you Bible beaters?
if you watched hardly any of my videos, you would know that I don't really promote things money-wise very often. But this lady definitely needs her sons to be able to go get justice in the court, because the man that hurt him, her son, is trying to gain access again. And so I need somebody to really go to my bio and click on the GoFundMe that I have set up in there. You just have to click the link in my bio here on TikTok and contribute to get these boys justice, so they never have to deal with or suffer from this man again.
Okay, this is a GoFundMe she set up for a friend of hers that needed help with her children. We have some major hypocrisy going on here. Now, we already got blessed with the whole sermon about the damn fortune cookie. Now she's wanting people to donate to her to help a friend of hers protect her sons from, I'm assuming, is their father. You got a little problem with that, Trevor, considering Michael Vaughn has been missing since July 27th, 2021?
Yeah, it's awfully rich of her to mention justice when she's one of 4 people who hold the key to justice for Michael and his family.
Timothy, coming in hot, said she's friends with the RSO, the father of those kids. She wanted to help with the GoFundMe. Birds of a feather. Birds of a feather. Everybody in their circle has got a very, very perverted and shady past.
So please help them. I just love these little boys to death. They're just amazing little guys. God is bigger than the wind, bigger than anything. He made the wind, and I don't have to be afraid, because he made the wind. And he's bigger than the wind, and I trust in him. Have a good day. Oh, this is April 13th, 2022. Me and my husband's anniversary, April 13th. Do you see what that is? That is snow. Snow freaking way.
Coward. 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 Tomorrow.
No, the vacuum's not going.
Coward. Tomorrow. Coward. Coward. Bye-bye. Outside. Go
Potty?
Potty. Go poo-poo. Go coward. Go bye-bye.
Coward tomorrow?
Coward.
Goodbye? Oh no.
Coward tomorrow.
Stop begging for my attention.
I want to pan that backyard again where she was posting about the 13th. For some reason, she didn't put the shed in there, and the shed is an intricate piece of this case. In the probable cause, before it was sealed, she said that the highest God told her that Stacy buried Michael by the shed. She's not going to pan around and show that shed in this. Brandon has made reference to a shed. He put on his Facebook story, just out of the blue, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different sheds. The shed has been brought up more than once. Now, why would you share this to your Facebook story unless that shed was really weighing on your mind? I see a shed, I walk by it, I put tools in it, whatever. The trash, but it doesn't need to be a Facebook story. It's like they're telling on themselves.
22. Me and my husband's anniversary, April 13th. Do you see what that is? That is snow. Snow freaking wet.
Car wide. Car wide. Car wide. Tomorrow.
No, the
Tomorrow
vacuum.
take the
Look at that friggin' mess. Who just throws a paper plate and their water bottle and shit in the floor?
car wide. Car wide. Tomorrow.
Look at that nasty shit. Actually, this is clean in Candace Wells standards. This looks ready for company. Nasty asses. A pot holder in the floor?
No, the
Tomorrow
vacuum.
take
The vacuum's
vacuum.
not going.
Car wide. Tomorrow. Car wide. Car wide. Bye bye. Outside. Go
Potty?
Potty. Go poo poo. Go car wide. Go bye bye.
Car wide tomorrow?
Car wide.
New potty? Oh no.
Car wide tomorrow.
Stop begging for my attention. Knock it off. I'm spending time with the cat right now. You can handle it. Stay right there. You do not need my attention all the time. Stop it. She's just playing with the dog bone. She thinks it's a scratching post. Little bitty, what are you doing?
She definitely likes the bones to scratch herself with.
Mm-hmm.
This would be little Billy. She's almost on the verge of getting ready to deliver some kittens. So she's been really feisty lately. But this is her way of trying to be cute before she. Oh, there she goes. She heard us talking about her. Everybody stop.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it.
I feel bad for the animals. I even feel bad for the plastic Crocs that go on Stacy's foot. Yeah, that does not look like a pit bull to me. I don't know why they said they went to get a pit bull. We've had this discussion before. Then he put a picture of a pit bull up with a blue tongue. Pit bulls are family. Did they not know that this dog is not a pit bull? These are not the same dog.
I didn't really want to post this, but I can't stop crying because he doesn't want anybody to be lost. And I just know time's running out, and I just don't want anybody to be lost.
You are lost, Sarah. You are lost. I'm not going to push it and say she's out of her mind. I think this is extreme guilt because we didn't flip to the Jesus script until the heat was coming on to her and Bowie Bear. She's out of her oh God, made me so mad.
Yeah.
So I wonder how much she was crying on this day when the Cold Case Foundation, Chief Huff, and a room full of reporters put up her picture. You want to talk about the religion and the tears, Trev?
I was actually going to talk about the baby talk.
Mhm.
There's actually neurocognitive evidence that shows that those who constantly talk and baby talk as adults to other adults have some kind of, or showing some kind of vulnerability. And in this situation, that would make sense because, you know, if there's guilt there, you're going to feel vulnerable, especially knowing that you're a suspect in a case that's known worldwide and everybody knows your face and is questioning your involvement.
100%. We were actually talking about it on the show on Monday, you know, with Robin Lane. She talks baby talk. We've talked about with Lori Vallow. She talks in baby talk. Michelle Duggar. They talk like they're 9 years old. And he's doing it too. Want to go on call wide? Want to go on call wide? She's got all those tears. Roughly a year ago, was a year ago on Friday, is when Chief Huff blew everybody's minds when he did this press conference. It was very public, nationwide, and they were naming names. It wasn't your typical update, we're still working on the case, be vigilant, nothing like that. He was naming names.
The following individuals who are currently in custody are involved in the abduction of Michael Vaughn. This is Sarah Wandra, 35 years old. Sarah lives at 1102 Red Wing Street in Fruitland and was living there at the time of Michael's disappearance. We believe that Sarah has firsthand knowledge and is involved in Michael's abduction. Sarah Wandra is currently being held at the Payette County Jail for failing to report a death to law enforcement. This is Sarah's husband, Stacy Wandra, 30 years old, a male. Stacy was also living at 1102 Red Wing Street in Fruitland and was living there at the time of Michael's disappearance. We believe that Stacy has firsthand knowledge and is involved in the abduction of Michael Vaughn. Stacy's currently being held in the Washington County Jail on unrelated charges. Now, the next individuals I'm going to introduce you to, let's go at the bottom there. This is Brandon Shirtliff, 30 years old, of Kuna, Idaho. Brandon was living with Sarah and Stacy Wandra at 1102 Red Wing Street at the time of Michael's disappearance, and we believe Brandon has firsthand knowledge of Michael's abduction. Brandon is currently believed to be in North Dakota. Adrian Lucien, 32-year-old male out of Toledo, Ohio. Adrian was staying with Sarah and Stacy Wandra at 1102 Red Wing Street at the time of Michael's disappearance, and we believe that Adrian has firsthand knowledge of Michael's abduction. Adrian is currently believed to be in Toledo, but floats between Ohio and California. I strongly encourage Shirtliff and Lucien to contact the Fruitland Police Department detectives, as the window of time for talking and cooperation is coming to a close. This remains an active and ongoing investigation, with conversations taking place with the Payette County Prosecutor's Office about Michael's case and those individuals involved. We also believe that there are others associated with the Wandras, Shirtliff, and Lucien, who may have knowledge of Michael's abduction, and I would strongly encourage them to come forward and speak with my detectives. When we finally reach the conclusion of this investigation, and I can assure you that we will, all of those who have knowledge of Michael's disappearance and have failed to report or hindered our investigation will be pursued. There's a moment in time to do the right thing and bring your information forward and cooperate, and that moment in time is now. To date, the Fruitland Police Department has received over 1,500 tips and leads, and we received many new leads since this phase of the investigation has began. We continue to ask our community for support and patience as we continue to aggressively work this case. We also ask that the Vaughn family's privacy continue to be respected, and we'll continue to post updates as information can be shared. Tips can be sent to findmichael@fruitland.org, or to Crime Stoppers at 343cops.com, or the Fruitland Police Department at 208-452-3110. Tipsters can remain anonymous. So before I open it up for questions, I just want to make it clear that this is a very active and ongoing investigation. It's super important that we maintain the integrity of this investigation. So I'd ask you that you'd please tailor your questions accordingly. With that, I'll stand for a few questions.
Okay, before we get to the questions, are you crying when you heard this, Sarah? When you were in front of the judge, you were defiant. You said, yes, I understand, but it's not true. You blamed Adrian, you blamed Stacy, you said the highest God told you what they did to that boy. These are your words in the probable cause affidavit. But you weren't crying. You blubber and babble on about how much God loves you and how you failed God. It's a little, yeah, I'll give you that one. You have failed God. I bet you were shitting your britches when this was going on. And every police chief, much like in the Quentin Simon case, should present things to their community the way that J.D. Huff did. Any thoughts, Trev?
Absolutely. And I think the fact that there are multiple suspects will actually end up helping the case. I mean, in comparison to only having one, because they're all cowards. I mean, there's no way around it. To do something like this, to hide behind it, you're a coward. And so when the stuff starts to roll, when crap starts to hit the fan, they're all going to point at each other. Nobody's going to be like, I did it. They're not going to take the fall for each other. So what will happen is, what I believe will happen is they'll start pointing fingers. And that's when the truth comes out, because they'll say, well, he did this. And then she'll say, well, he did this. And suddenly you get piece A, piece B, piece C, and you've got yourself a puzzle put together.
You got it. You got it. And I am really shocked that since all of this broke loose roughly a year ago, a year and a few days. I'm really shocked that they have not all turned on each other. Very shocked.
Alex?
So if Michael's remains are not found, will Sarah have to be released, or do you think that she will remain in jail once you locate the other people that you think are involved?
It is my belief that she will remain in custody. But again, we're in talks with the Payette County Prosecutor, and those talks are ongoing as far as charging.
And you can't speak to any additional evidence that was found in the house, like you said, you can't.
I cannot. Again, I just don't want to jeopardize the integrity of this investigation. Leslie?
Wanda is listed as an inmate in Washington County Jail, but he's not on the Idaho court records because it's currently with federal hold. Are there any other charges aside from hers that have been filed in relation to this?
Not that I'm aware of. Not at this point. Go ahead.
What was different about the tip you received in this case after, 1,500 tips over the last almost year and a half? What led to your arrest and search? Can you share any more about what led you to that home?
I don't want to get into the details on that, but I can assure you that the tip that we received was credible. I also released that in an earlier statement that it came from one of the occupants of the home, which led to that. Yes.
I'm sure that you guys in your investigation are following social media pages, which a lot of us have looked at. And one of them indicates a trip out of state taken within the time frame. Without the time frame investigation, you guys are at least aware of that trip taken to get a dog.
We are currently aware of a lot. And so I would tell you that you just need to trust us and trust in this investigation. We're making tremendous progress. We're comfortable with where we're at. I appreciate that question.
McDonough looks like he's about to bite through nails. And when Carson Starkey mentioned the cold case detectives coming to his house, I'm wondering if Chris was one of them or who it was. Because he looks like he... He looks pissed. I mean, he looks pissed. Not to cross cases, but a lot of people are really upset that Don and Candace will not use him in the Summer Wells case. Well, here's the thing. He asks questions that make sense, like, can you help me fill in the timeline? Well, neither of them are going to be able to do that. Brandy and Tyler have always been extremely transparent about their love for their child, everything that was going on that day. They want him back. They want their son. Any thoughts on that, Trev?
No, you nailed it. You're absolutely right. Brandy and Tyler, they have one goal, and Brandy makes that evidently clear. Nobody can question that. It's to bring their son home. It's to find Michael, get answers as to what happened to him. There's nothing they have to hide. There's nothing they want to gain from this. There's no attention or fame that will ever measure up to them as to answers for their son. And so they'll always fight for that. So they'll bring in anyone. And that's why they'll talk to Chris. They'll talk to law enforcement. Brandy says they talk to law enforcement nearly every day. I mean, they'll talk to whoever they need to because their one goal, and like I said, they make it crystal clear, is to bring their son home.
Crystal clear. She even, corrected Chris McDonough when she was on his show one time about Michael coming home. And she said, when Michael comes home. Michael is coming home. Michael is coming home. It's just heartbreaking.
Sarah Wonder didn't pass her mental evaluation for when they were in the hearing and things. Do you think this affects the investigation at all, considering that to be the case?
I do not at this point.
There have been mentions of a neighbor's yard. Has that been searched in any way or taken into consideration in this investigation?
Yes, as a matter of fact, we'll be deploying ground penetrating radar in the neighbor's yard tomorrow. So.
And they did, and they came up with nothing. Nothing in the Starkey's yard. The Starkeys' names come up quite a bit in this case. JLR got Carson Starkey on the phone. It's hard to look away because he seems to know way more about Stacy and Sarah and the going-ons of the flop house than he's willing to take credit for. So, Adrian, this is for you before we get to the neighbors. How does one go from NBA prospect to suspect in abduction of a still missing child? You're welcome to come up, Adrian. I'm going to drop the link. Trevor doesn't bite. I don't bite. We'll be nice, right, Trevor?
No, 100%. The only thing we care about is answers for Michael. That's it.
Class of 2009, Adrian Lucien. This was on ESPN. School list: Detroit Mercy and Toledo. He had quite a career in front of him, wouldn't you say?
Oh yeah, and getting offers is not easy.
No. I gotta go through this slowly. CSI, Men Inc. 4 returnees should add more signees this summer. Player Adrian Lucien will be part of the 2010 to 11 equation, but Lucien has decided to attend a different JUCO next season. Just go back to what old Adrian's saying. When they get, yo stupid ass, you might not want to snitch on everyone involved. Just take the L, bro. We all know what's up, and thanks for hacking the phone. I have way more receipts. Let's get hickey mean, baby. Can anyone interpret this for me, please? Adrian, I don't think you want to be caught up in this, sir. He says, I pray they find Michael Vaughn. I was set up by this guy, and also they tried to kill me by carbon monoxide poisoning. I'm a God-fearing, loving person. I pray they find him. Any thoughts on that, Trev?
It's back to the barrier of religion.
If they tried to kill you with carbon monoxide poisoning, go ahead and call that number, report it, and go from there. Turn yourself in, bro, before yo people take shit in their own hands, because once you get knocked, you telling they gonna slam your dumb ass. All this shit, stupid, effing lame. You might want to just take the L and call Miss Renee, because if you tell, you know who coming to get you. It's not true at all, but I do know Renee. She was a booster mom for student athletes at CSI. I never really liked her because I knew that she was involved sexually with some of the guys on the team. I don't know if she was blanking them, or I don't know anything about that, but I know she would buy them shoes. She would buy them clothes and food, and all she wanted in return was, I guess, to plainly put it, blank. That is true. So he's been around a groomer before. If he comes forward, I mean, I have a good feeling that the police will protect him. But I don't see how an NBA prospect is seriously scared of Mr. and Mrs. formerly Bowie Bear.
Yeah, the whole the whole not talking out of fear is such a ridiculous thing to me. In a case like this, when you've got the highest level of law enforcement involved, the FBI can not only protect you, they can make it look like you don't even exist anymore. Heck, they put people go into witness protection, people go into, they get address changes, all these things change, and nobody can find them.
Nobody. Nope. They can definitely, Adrian, give you protection from Sarah and Stacy and goofy ass Brandon. Because you're all pawns in someone's game. Wouldn't it be easier to not be woke up at night worrying about that knock on the door, Adrian? What are you scared of? Law enforcement or the Bowie Bear twins?
Yeah, because out of those two options, one, when they get a warrant, we'll come knocking and we'll come in and get you. The other, can't do that. So pick wisely who you're worried about.
Chrissy, here's a boom comment. Talk or justice will find you. What's it going to be? Jail or hell? It's really up to you. Okay, back to Sarah and her crying. Again, this was her meltdown about getting stuck in the mud.
God just got me through the craziest situation ever. I got stuck in the mud in Texas. I don't even live in Texas, okay? I'm only down here to rescue a dog. And then I had a really severe attack from the enemy. And God used my husband to get me out of it. And I just want to praise God for what He's done for me. That's all. I just want to praise God for what He's done for me. Thank Him. And I had to tell you guys about it because this time I'm just really dumbfounded, to be honest with you. God can get you out of anything. Anything.
Again, she looks like she's been crying for days. And, but this is her demeanor when she was arrested for concealing the death of Michael Vaughn. There's no tears. We're not talking about failing God. We're not talking about those things now. This is how she responded to the judge.
You did on or about the 12th day of November of this year here in the state of Idaho fail to notify the coroner of a death, the death of Michael Vaughn, with the intent to prevent the discovery of the manner of death.
We continue to follow developing news out of Payette County. Police made an arrest in connection to the disappearance of Michael Vaughn. The little boy went missing from his Fruitland home in July of 2021 when he was 5 years old. Police arrested 35-year-old Sarah Wandra for failure to report a death. Crews have been excavating the backyard of a home in a Fruitland neighborhood since
She's not crying there.
Saturday. We now know that home is where Wandra has been living. We have team coverage from Payette County. News Channel 7's Abby Davis is outside the home in Fruitland where crews continue to dig in the backyard. But first, let's go to Alexandra Duggan outside the Payette County Courthouse in Payette where Sarah Wandra was arraigned this afternoon. Alex?
Doug, today in court at 1:30, the state of Idaho alleges that Sarah Wondra on November 12th failed to notify police of a death. And they said that she covered up the way in which Michael Vaughn died. Now, we don't know if he has actually died. There's no confirmation from police just yet. Just know that investigators are still currently looking for his remains. That's what we've gathered from Fruitland Police. And the judge also sealed the probable cause affidavit today in court, talking about why they arrested Wondra. Because they don't want to jeopardize a high case like this. And Huff said that he doesn't want to comment on that just yet. He wants to bring closure to the family in the right way, is what he told us just 20 minutes ago. He said the state said there are serious implications of Wondra being out and about and knowing about Michael's whereabouts for this entire year and a half that he has been missing. And in court, Wondra says she understands the charges that are being brought against her, but, that quote, it is not correct. And Huff told us 20 minutes ago, like I said, they will not say if they have found Michael or not, and that they don't want to jeopardize the case, but it's their goal to recover him if needed. Back to you, Doug.
Alex, thank you there.
Okay, so that's how she dealt with the judge. I know it's not correct, she said. Big difference from all the I got stuck in the mud and I have failed Jesus TikToks, is it not? She's very sullen. She's very solemn. She's very defiant. I know it's not correct.
Live from outside the Payette County Courthouse. Now, let's continue our team coverage and head out to News Channel 7's Abby Davis. She is outside the home where crews have been excavating the backyard since Saturday. And Abby, it sounds like crews have just wrapped up for the day.
They have, Doug. That is right. They will actually be back in the morning. But as of now, you can see behind me, our photographer Logan will show you now. You can see that one heavy piece of equipment there. The rest of it has left. The other backhoe has left. The dump truck has gone. But they did resume this morning. They started early this morning excavating the entire backyard. This is a home that is just about 4 minutes away from the Vaughn family home. We can see everything is shut down. We have that police tape back there. There are some law enforcement officials still kind of gathered around talking. But we do have some video of what the scene looked like earlier while they were actively digging and searching. There was a dog on scene I also saw, and then I was told yesterday that once again they were excavating the entire backyard. That was their plan, and that they were going to dig 3 to 4 feet. Now they obtained a search warrant and started working Friday night. They are taking all of this dirt off site where it will be processed. That is what Chief J.D. Huff told us yesterday. Now, this all came after a very credible tip. That is what Huff said. It was a very credible tip that came from someone inside of the house. And he said that they have received over 1,500 tips so far, but this one was the one that led them to this house very close to the Vaughn family home. Now, Huff said, once again, the investigation has moving parts like Alex already mentioned, but that their goal is to recover Michael and have a successful prosecution, but that once again, they'll leave no stone unturned. He said that they just have to do right by Michael's family and by the entire community that has been so closely watching this whole entire situation.
And Abby, have you gotten any indication if they will be back again tomorrow to continue the excavation?
Yes, early tomorrow. Huff said they'll be back around 9:30 a.m. and he did say that they will be bringing in some different equipment. As for what that means, though, he didn't specify.
Okay, Abby Davis now live in the neighborhood where police have been excavating a backyard, all in connection with the disappearance of young Michael Vaughn. Abby, thank you.
Defiant, 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 but you're supposedly a born-again Christian who has a total meltdown over getting stuck in the mud. I'm at a loss for words, and that's rare for me, Trev. You're going to have to fill it in for me.
Yeah, it shows the way that she acted in court shows the real Sarah, and that's why I think when they end up all in trouble, that they'll start pointing fingers, because she'll go from I'm this great Christian person to I didn't do it, and start pointing fingers. And like I said, I think they've each got, if police believe that they each have firsthand information, then there's a good chance they all know something. And if they all start pointing fingers in each other's direction, you get all the pieces.
And pieces are what they need, because you have 4 social friggin' deviants. Look at them. And possibly more. You can't tell me Cesar Garudo is not involved. Alexi is a bad hombre. The Starkeys, I think they had a good idea what was going on. Whether they saw Michael, they know a lot about what was going on in that house. And I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't Carson or his wife that did not give that tip. Because I have a feeling that when this press conference in July of 2022 happened, I have a feeling they were all shitting their britches.
You know, I'm not going to really get into too deep on the persons of interest, but I will tell you there are multiple. Okay.
Are there any people that you interviewed or searched that have been non-cooperative?
Yeah, there have been.
Multiple persons of interest. Multiple. Reporter asked, has there anyone that has not been cooperative? He said, yeah, there have been. TikTok.
Hello?
Hi, Carson?
Yes.
Hi, good morning. My name is Jonathan. I'm sure you're aware of what's going on around your house. I'm just wondering what's going on here.
Jonathan who?
I am a reporter, Original Media Group, and I am covering the Michael Vaughn case, and I see a lot of activity outside your house. Can you just confirm with me that you're not – there's people circulating your name online saying that you're possibly involved. Can you just elaborate if you're involved or not, or is this dealing with you and your wife, Dorothy, or is this dealing with what's going on next door to you?
Okay, first of all, I'm not involved with that at all.
Okay, that's
it's
good.
The neighbors. I mean, it might be going on outside my house, but it's the neighbors that are involved.
Do you know anything about your neighbors?
You know, I've lived here for 5 years, and I don't hardly talk to anybody in here. I go to work.
Okay, I want you to pay close attention to how this starts. I would actually like to do a top 10 of some of the ballsiest things that JLR has ever done. Being outside of the suspect's home in the Charlotte Senna abduction, that was up there. Going to Dawn and Candace's motel room, that was up there. Getting into Mar-a-Lago and meeting Trump, that's up there. Calling Carson Starkey, that's up there. Brandon Shirtlip in the hot tub, that's up there. What am I missing, Trev? Trev is muted.
Yeah, no, he gets out there. If there's some fire, he's jumping in it.
He's everywhere. It's like, instead of where in the world is Carmen Sandiego, it needs to be, where the hell is Jonathan Lee Riches gonna pop up next?
Yeah, it's like, where's Waldo, but the opposite. It's like, where's JLR not?
Whew, I'll tell you what. Well, hold on. We have a very, very special guest backstage. Let's bring up our good friend and a huge source of strength for many, many people, our friend, Brandy Neil. Good morning, our dear friend. How are you holding up today? Dumb question, but...
Oh, it's been a rough morning. But good morning, Trevor. Good morning, Brooks. Good morning, everybody. Oh. I came in, Sarah. I'll have to go back and catch the replay.
That's okay. Might be best not to, because, I mean, Everybody in here today, they are fired up.
Good. That's what we need. We need everybody to see what these 4 suspects are like and what they've done.
And possibly more, because Huff was very clear about it.
Yes.
There could be other people. That could be one of the complexities of the case. As we know, grand juries are sealed, so we don't exactly know what they're discussing.
Exactly.
Lisa said, "We love you, Brandy." Snow loves Chief Huff. Snow, she's already said he's happily married.
I don't think Snow's giving that one up.
AV said, "Adrian, listen to this, mother. How heartless are you, Adrian?" And Tina and Brandon. I think about this post that came out in November of 2021, and I've kept it because it breaks my heart. This lady shares Michael's picture very often. She said, "I was asked why I keep sharing, and my simple response was, because it could be my son." I wanted to say a lot more, but the truth is, he could be my son. He could be your nephew. He could be your neighbor. And that's why I share, because it takes a second. I won't stop helping Brandy find her son. We are his army. Please share and keep his family in your prayers. That post instantly brings tears to my eyes.
That was Tina. I don't understand how, I can't even call them people. I don't understand how they can be so heartless.
Nope.
So cruel.
Okay, Jules is coming in with journalistic integrity. She wants to know if you're wearing pink.
Oh, it's Wednesday, isn't it? Not yet, but I will, Jules, just for you.
Okay. It's going to be Wednesday up until 11:59. So if it's okay with you, we're going to go back through Carson's statement, because he started out with he's lived there 5 years, just goes to work, really doesn't know anybody.
Okay.
But then it seems to turn out that he does.
Great.
I come home and, I don't know. They're just kind of weird people.
Like, what do you mean weird? Have you ever talked to them? Have you ever seen them? Or have you ever seen them going around the neighborhood?
Oh yeah. Yeah. As a matter of fact, I did some mechanicing work for them.
Yeah.
And other than that, went and done a couple taxi runs for her because she couldn't do them all. And other than that, I have nothing at all to do with them.
So we go from, I just go to work, kind of Don Wells style. I'm really not trying to pick on Carson. It's just scratch a lie, find a thief.
Well,
oh, I just go to work. I don't really know anybody. Then it's, oh, well, I've done some mechanic work for him, and I've done some taxi runs for Sarah.
The term "other than that" kind of loses its value when you just keep adding things to it. So I didn't know them at all. Well, and then this. Other than that, I didn't know them. Well, then also this. But other than that, I didn't. How many other than that's do you need before you just say I knew him?
Mm-hmm. You knew him well. It gets even deeper. Taxi runs. Did some mechanic work. You're working on someone's personal vehicle. You know them pretty well.
Do you know what led police to their house?
What led police to the house? Let me think here. I think it was the dogs.
The dogs. What do you mean by dogs? Who's
the cadaver dogs?
Really?
Well, the not too long after the kid came up missing, they had dogs because they came over to my house and asked if they could run their dogs through the backyard and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, man. I got nothing to hide, you know.
Yeah.
And but from what I understand is that they had the dogs and it took them right to their front door.
I think he's a little confused about the date because I don't believe for a minute that the dogs hit on anything at the Wandra house in July of 2021. And then they ran dogs again a year and a half later. And I've had a lot of people reach out to me asking why they didn't use dogs. Well, they did. Matter of fact, Fruitland Police, July 28th of 2021, the day after Michael was abducted, said, "We would like to thank the public for their help with searching for the lost child. But we need everyone to stay out of the area of Southwest 9th and Southwest 8th Street while we deploy a tracking dog. We will notify the public of any updates and assistance needed." They've used every tool in the box to
They
find.
had 3 tracking dogs that day. The 28th, they had 3 different tracking dogs. That wasn't the only time they ran dogs. They ran dogs that entire week after the 27th. They even flew in dogs from around the country that first week. So I'd like to know when he's talking about the dogs went to the Wanderers. Is he talking about the day of the week of the excavation, or
That's what I think he's talking about because, nah. He could be deflecting as well. I mean, him and Dorothy have their own shady past.
Oh, really? So that was at the time when he was just reported missing last year?
Yeah.
So what? And then the dogs didn't pick up nothing, and then they just left them alone, or just?
You know, I don't know, man. I don't get in other people's business. I stick to myself. You know, I go to work and I come home and I'm pretty much either in the house or over at one of my friends.
You know, damn, Carson even kind of looks like Don Wells. I don't know. I just go to work and I mind my own business, so I don't know. But yeah, the dogs, and I did mechanic work for them, and I did some taxi runs for them. But I just go to work and mind my own business. I don't know anybody around here.
And but me and Dorothy had nothing at all to do with this crap.
Yeah, and you know that's why I was asking, because your names are circulating and people are just speculating, and I just want to get that on the record that hey, you guys are not involved with this at all. It's dealing with the Wandras that are next door. That's Sarah and Stacy Wandra, right?
Yeah.
Has anyone else lived there with them?
There's been people that stayed there and lived there with them for off and on. Pretty much the whole time that they've been there. Yeah.
And I know police are out there now, I believe. I think they're going to keep searching. I was just wondering what led police there now. You just said they went there last year with the cadaver dogs. I'm wondering what brought them back.
Well, you know what, that I don't know. All I know is that the cold case detectives came to my house not too long ago and said they were getting close and wanted to know, what was going on. And dude, I don't know nothing.
Now, when the cold case detective showed up at the Starkey residence, that could have been the straw that broke the camel's back, because Carson and his wife have already got a history that they're going to be right on the radar, period. Okay. They are both RSOs. So when the Cold Case Foundation came knocking at the house, I have a feeling we started spilling our guts.
I mean, I barely know him. I say hi to him, bye to him. And I told him I did some mechanic work for him and did a couple taxi runs for her so she can handle them all. And other than that, I have nothing to do with them.
Yeah. What makes you think they're weird? What have you seen them do that's weird?
It's just the way they act and stuff.
Yeah.
And, one day Sarah, is, I guess, kind of normal. And then the next day I come out here, she's sitting in the driveway looking up at the sky telling me that the Lord's coming after her.
Yeah, and I noticed on a lot of her, she has a Facebook, and I was looking at it, and I seen like a lot of religious things, a lot of religious postings. But she did that, it seems like, after August of last year.
Just not too long ago, right?
Yeah, like I on her Facebook before Michael Vaughn went missing last year, nothing, no postings about religious stuff or anything. And then suddenly, in starting into the, late summer, fall of last year, it's nonstop religious postings and religious videos.
Yeah, I noticed that too. I mean, I don't know, never got on her Facebook or anything, but I noticed that, about the religion stuff, because she was trying to preach to me, and I told her, look, man, you go preach to somebody else. I don't want to hear it. I mean, I believe in God and everything, but don't come talking your shit to me.
Yeah. Do you know anything about their taxi business? I saw that they had some sort of taxi business.
Yeah. From what I know is I forget what the first name of it was.
I think it's called Faith Taxi.
And then they changed it over to Faith Taxi.
Yeah.
I can't remember what the name of it was when they first started it, but then they changed it over to Faith Taxi. And that was just, not too long after Michael come up missing.
Yeah, I noticed that too. What kind of cars do they have?
She's got either a Mazda or Toyota. I think a Toyota.
Yeah. What about him?
And they've had, pickup trucks, Cadillac Avalanche, or not Cadillac Avalanche, but oh God, what's a Cadillac SUV?
Escalade.
Escalade, yeah, Escalade. Yeah, those are the ones that I know of. Matter of fact, I bought one of the cars way before this happened, though.
Yeah.
And I bought.
Okay, he just goes to work. He doesn't really know anybody. He just keeps his head down, goes to work, comes home, eats dinner, goes to sleep, gets up the next morning, has some coffee, takes a shit, go back to work, rinse and repeat. But he's done mechanic work for them, did taxi runs for Sarah, and he bought a car off of them. So he knows them a little better than he presents. I just hope he is being extremely, extremely helpful and transparent with the authorities in Fruitland, Idaho.
Well, Dorothy actually bought it. I went over there and talked to them because they told me they had a car for sale, and I said, well, Dorothy needs one, so how much you want for it? They told me, I paid them, gave the car to Dorothy, and that's the one she's driving right now still.
Yeah. Now, have both of them been in jail since the spring, or are they been out? Are they there?
She was here yesterday. I don't know where she's at today.
Oh wow, she was here yesterday. Yeah, according to the jail records, she was just arrested yesterday. That's what according. So maybe they picked her up yesterday.
Well, they were over here. She was over here, so they probably took her yesterday when they were digging up the backyard.
Oh really? Did you see it when the police came, or?
I didn't see him arrest her or anything. I was at work.
Yeah. But I heard Stacy, her husband, has been in jail since spring.
Yeah, he called me not too long ago and asked me if he could borrow my BMW for a couple of months because thought he was getting out in a couple of weeks.
Okay. So JLR says, Stacy's in jail. He's out now because he served his time for his sentence. Now, listen to Carson. Yeah, he called me wanting to borrow a car, called from jail. Look, I don't know any numbers anymore. I know my husband's. I know my phone number growing up. I sometimes remember my own number. They're all in my phone. How did Stacy remember his number to call him from jail to borrow a car because he thinks he's getting out soon? They know each other much better than what Carson is portraying.
And I wonder if they ever had conversations prior to Michael's disappearance on other phones. So if you have your regular phone, you have contacts saved. But if you ever use a burner phone, you need to have numbers memorized, because if you go pick up a phone from Walgreens, it's not going to have your contacts listed in there. So I wonder if he knows the number that way too, because even if you know someone, the people I know really well, I don't know their phone numbers. I mean, if I needed to call you, I could do it in 2 seconds, Brooks, but I don't know your phone number, but it's in my phone. So for him to know it makes me wonder if he had a reason to not only, and it shows that he knows them more, but I wonder if he had a reason to have that specific number, if he ever had to use it outside of a regular call on a phone that he has.
Nobody knows anyone's number anymore. And you have to know someone pretty damn well to call them from the pokey to ask to borrow a car because you think you're getting out soon. I can't think of who I would call, jail or not jail, and ask to borrow their car. It would have to be someone that I know pretty well. Would it not? We're not talking about a cup of sugar. We're not like, hey, I need to put an extension on my water hose. Do you have an extra water hose? We're talking about he called from jail to borrow a damn car. Brandy's back. What do you think about that, Brandy? If you can weigh in, if you can't, we understand.
Why didn't he call Sarah? Or was she with, because she was out by that time, I believe. So why wouldn't he call his wife? You're telling me the only number he remembered is your next door neighbors that you don't really know? I think that's a bunch of horse crap, in my opinion.
So we go from, I just go to work and I don't really know anybody around here, to, well, I did mechanics for him. I did some taxi runs for him. Oh, my wife Dorothy bought a car from him. And now he called me from jail to ask if he could borrow a car. Can you think of anybody off the top of your head that you could call right now? You would know their number off the top of your head and have a casual enough relationship with them to say, hey, can I borrow your car?
My fiance and my 2 teenagers. That's about it.
There you go.
And maybe myself.
Trevor, off the top of your head.
My mother, my sister.
There you go. People that you know well. People that you know well.
He wanted to borrow one of my cars for a couple months. Yeah, no, I don't think so.
Oh, really? He called you from jail?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I saw that he got like indicted by the FBI or something on some gun charges.
Yeah, felon in possession.
Yeah. Well, it's just the whole neighborhood's torn upside down. They're looking for Michael Vaughn. Michael Vaughn's family lived a few blocks away. And they're just trying.
Yeah, I know right where they live. They live right behind one of my friends used to live over there, right behind them. So I know pretty much. I don't know exactly what house they live in, but I know about where they live.
Okay, Mister, I keep my head down and I don't know anybody around here. Has done mechanic work for the suspects, bought a car from the suspects, got a call from one of the suspects in jail to borrow a car. Now he knows exactly where the Vaughn family lives. No, I am not accusing Carson. I am not trying to put him in this. But when you're hiding one thing, what else are you hiding?
And it could be as simple as information. Not everybody that has, information was directly involved. There's, people primarily involved who, committed the abduction. But then you also could have people who have been told things or know things, and that information could be crucial as well. And they've never had a part in the abduction. I'm not saying he has that information, but those people could exist.
Right on. Bingo.
Agreed.
And I noticed with one thing, Brooks, early on in the interview, and I haven't heard it since, and I'll see if it comes up in the rest of it that you play, but he says when JLR asked him, does he know what led them back to the house? And he repeated the question out loud and gave himself time to answer. But in any other question, he's either been like, and then answered or just blurted an answer out. But that one of the early questions, he sat and bought himself time to say something, but he doesn't do that in any other question. I don't know. I just found that odd. He doesn't say that anywhere else. He popped up to say he knew where the Vaughns lived. He popped up to say that he called him in jail. All those other things, he came right off the tongue. But when JLR asked him that, he said he repeated the question out loud.
You're exactly right. You're exactly right. This is from a news article. Others associated with the Wanderers, Shirtliff and Lucian, may also have knowledge of the abduction of Michael. They are highly encouraged to come forward and speak with detectives. You can do it, Carson. You can do it.
So at the time when they were looking for Michael, they were having dogs all around your neighborhood, your street there.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, stay optimistic, and thanks for the information on these wanderers. You know their parents. Who's home? Who owns the house? Is that her mom and dad that own the house?
Yeah.
I guess.
Matter of fact, her mom and dad were on vacation not too long ago.
He goes to work, doesn't hardly talk to anybody, minds his own business. Hell, he knows who owns the house, and he knows that her parents recently went on vacation. The only way I would know if a neighbor was going on vacation is if they told me, I'm going on vacation, can you water my plants? I wouldn't know.
And this is when she got thrown in the loony bin the first time, and called me up and asked me if I'd go check on the cats and make sure they got food and everything. And I told him, you know what? I don't want to go in the house. Nobody's there. I don't want to go in there. Have somebody else do it.
Oh, so Sarah was in a loony bin.
Yeah.
Okay, so he knows Sarah was in the loony bin, so he obviously knows them well. And he was asked to go in the house and check on things. How well do you have to know someone to let them in your home when you're not there?
I'm not going to just randomly ask somebody to come check on the cats. I'm going to ask somebody that I know and I trust.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because at that point, you're not only trusting them with your animals, you're trusting them with everything in your house. If they come into your house, they now have access to your entire house.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How many
Twice.
times? Twice. Oh, wow. When was that?
Yeah, they came and picked her up and took her to either Idaho Falls, I think, or Idaho City, Idaho Falls, to some wackadoo place over there. And then she got out, and I think the next day or the day after, they came and picked her up again.
Oh, wow. When was that?
Just not too long ago, 3-4 weeks ago.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So it seems like there's a lot of things going on after Michael went missing, with the religious stuff and the odd behaviors. And like you just said, the loony bin stuff and him being arrested earlier in the year.
When Carson was talking about Sarah being outside talking to the sky saying God was coming to get her, I think that was one of the times that she was, because there was a welfare check called, I believe, because she had been out there hollering at the sky, and I believe she also urinated on herself. And then I think that's when she was taken to one of the mental hospitals for evaluation. And I'm not sure when that was, but I do know there is an instance in that time frame.
So she was talking to God and pissed herself. Sounds normal to me. Lisa Durr said he says he doesn't want to go in their house. Is it because he didn't want his DNA found in the house? Timothy came right back with a comment and said, so why would he not want to go in the house? Why is he such a high moral individual that he won't go in the house? Did he know that there was some shady business going on in the house? And I have to say it lightly.
Right.
Seems we have a little bit of paranoia that people that he did mechanic work for, taxi runs for, got a call from the jail, from Stacy, because they know each other well, bought a car from, he's not going to place himself inside the house.
Right.
You know, did they fight in the springtime? What was that arrest about? They both got arrested.
I couldn't tell you, man. I don't know.
Yeah, they both got arrested. Now, are all the animals still in that house, or is anybody living there now?
Well, Sarah was living here until yesterday, I guess.
Yeah. And I noticed on Facebook she had a bunch of like cats and dogs, or cats, at least many cats.
Yes, there was like 5 cats over there.
Did they have any kids together?
Carson, you know how many cats they have. Come on, bud. You know way more about what is going on next door than you are willing to take credit for. I just go to work. I don't know anybody around here. Oh, I did mechanic work for him. Oh, I bought a car from him. Oh, I got a call from jail from Stacy. I know exactly where the Vaughns live. Oh, they have 5 cats. They asked me to go check on the house while they were on while the parents were on vacation.
No. All right. Well, stay optimistic. Thanks.
Hey, let me ask you a question. Are you the one that put my face and stuff on Facebook?
No, that wouldn't be me.
Somebody did.
No, I don't know. There's a lot of your name.
They were investigating me and Dorothy.
Yeah, people are at this time. No one knows what's going on, so people are just speculating, right? They're just throwing out names of people around the area that it could be, and this is a fluid situation. That's why I'm reporting on this.
Right, but why put me on Facebook saying I'm being investigated when I'm not being investigated?
Yeah, maybe you should go out there and talk to the media and just go on the record and just say, hey, this has nothing to do with us. These are these next door neighbors, and we're not involved in any way, and then people will just focus on, them.
You know how many shits I would give if somebody told me I was being investigated for something? I'd be like, what? No. He goes, on Facebook, people are telling me I'm being investigated. Well, what are you worried about? You already said that you spoke to the Cold Case Foundation and you told them I didn't do anything. And they did search their backyard, as you heard Huff say, with ground penetrating drones. They did not find anything. This is like Andrew Hiltz and his meltdown he's been having for a week about some grand jury in Tennessee that he's trying to blame me for. If I had that type of power, we'd be having grand juries all the time. Sorry to let anyone down. What are you afraid of? And we have had a lot of gifted memberships in here today. Let's grab our umbrellas. Thank you, September Virgo, and thank you, Slim. You took the words right out of my mouth. He's a registered RSO admitting to being on social media. I'd be very worried about that. Very
I was
worried.
just gonna ask that. Aren't RSOs, they're not supposed to be on social media?
They're not even supposed to give out candy on Halloween. They are not supposed to be on social media. And both him and Dorothy, who are both registered sex offenders, have Facebook profiles. That's how Jonathan found them.
Instead.
Wow.
Well, they know who did it now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they haven't found Michael yet. Do you think Michael's back there?
You know what, man? I couldn't tell you. Like I said, I really don't know them except for the mechanic work I did, the couple taxi runs I did for her, and other than that, I do not know them at all.
Have you ever seen them fight Have you ever seen them fight with one another?
I've seen them yell at each other. I heard them yell at each other. I didn't see it, but I've heard them yell at each other. When they were leaving or coming back or something. I don't know what it was. I've never seen them literally fight.
Yeah. Has the cops ever came there prior for anything?
Not that I think of. I mean, I'm hardly ever here. I'm usually at work, so if they did, I don't know about it.
Yeah. All right, Mr. Carson, thank you for your time. Be safe, and I hope this all turns out well and Michael is found.
Man, me too. I can't imagine what his mom goes through every day going to work at Albertsons and seeing his face on posters everywhere, and that's got to be fucking heartbreaking.
I am surprised Jonathan didn't swallow the phone when he said, I mean, he's ending the interview. Hello, Prayer Garden of America. I'm surprised. I would have swallowed the phone. I'd have shit a brick. If I'm wrapping up an interview, which you all have seen my interviewing skills, and I heard him say, I don't know how his mom goes to work and names her former employer, seeing those pictures all the time. What the hell? But you don't know anybody. You don't know anybody, right, Carson?
All right, Mr. Carson, thank you for your time. Be safe, and I hope this all turns out well and Michael is found.
How would he know where I worked?
Imagine what his mom goes through every day going to work at Albertsons and seeing his face on posters everywhere, and that's got to be fucking heartbreaking. That would kill me.
Do you know them?
I don't.
No.
So he doesn't know you. I don't. But he knows exactly where you work.
Right.
Or used to
And
work.
unless you would come in and see me, you didn't know where I worked. I don't hang around a lot of people. I mean, I'm with my family. So, and I hadn't worked for Albertsons for very long. I had only worked for Albertsons 9 days before Michael was abducted.
Okay, let's talk about that, because you have mentioned that to me before, and it's actually in my notes. 9 days before Michael was abducted. So how the hell would he know where you work when he doesn't know anybody in the neighborhood except for the neighbors who are suspects in Michael's abduction? He did mechanic work for, bought a car from, got a call from jail, was asked to look after their house while the parents were on vacation. They don't live there, so why they needed them to look at that house, I don't know. I guess because they own it. My heart is up in my throat right now.
And I want to know who keeps taking down the missing persons photos out of that neighborhood that I keep putting up for Michael. I'll keep doing it every dang day. I don't know if it's Sarah's parents or
Tina.
Who else did? Well, I'll keep putting them up.
Connie said they're stalking.
I don't, but I could just imagine, what she's going through, and having to see his face in people's yards, on billboards, and every story she goes into.
Yeah, that whole town got. Yeah,
like the fucking hard to hell for her.
Yeah,
and him.
So the whole neighborhood knows about this case going on.
I'm sure they do.
Yeah.
They've probably been over here for 2 days.
Oh, they've been over there for 2 days. Yeah, I saw them blocking off the street there, right next door to you. All right, stay safe. Have a great day. Thanks, Mr. Carson.
Well, that's beyond disturbing. We haven't even scratched the surface. That's what's more disturbing. Touch of Class said, may I borrow your BMW for a couple months? WTF.
Is that Brandon's BMW?
That's what I want to know. He mentioned a Mercedes. Does he have a BMW as well?
Oh, is Brandon's a Mercedes? Okay. Yeah, that's right. Sorry.
There's so many cars involved. I think Avi's putting together a whole spreadsheet right now. Prayer Garden says, sounds like he was stalking and approached Monkey the first chance the sicko got. My first conversation with Brandy, she said that she had a weird feeling somebody was watching them.
Yep. And I told that to Fruitland PD and the FBI, you know, and I even went to Doug Hart and I was like, do I sound crazy? Do I sound insane? And no, you don't. Anything you can think of, anything that there's nothing that's too small. You know, maybe something will trigger your brain. You will remember seeing someone or seeing a vehicle. Yeah. This faith taxi thing really gets me because I've lived here for a long time and I don't ever remember seeing anything about that, about the faith taxi. Just drives me insane. And then seeing Sarah in court multiple times, just the look on her face. Ugh.
And that's a good point. Besides the look on Sarah's face in court, lots of good points. You guys are really hitting it out of the park today. They have this taxi business. Carson did a couple runs for them. That's what brought, supposedly brought Brandon around, even though he was a delivery driver for Domino's. I don't know if did Adrian do any taxi runs? I can't remember. But you never saw any faith taxi rolling around your neighborhood. Slim has a question. Can we put deer cameras up in the neighborhood to find out who's taking the posters down? We know in the case of Bardstown, the new girlfriend of Fatnecks, she got prosecuted for taking down Crystal Rogers posters.
They better hope whoever keeps doing it that I don't catch them doing it, because you're not. You're gonna need to call Fruitland Police Department right away, because I'm not gonna have a single nice word to say.
Mm-mm.
And setting up trail cams. I mean, I could ask. I'm sure I could talk to a couple other people in the neighborhood that would, or I could ask, because there's a lot more Ring doorbell cameras now. A lot more. There's a lot of surveillance cameras, especially just here on 9th Street now.
Prayer Garden, do you want to grab the link and come up and give your thoughts on this? I want to get as many creators, good creators, as possible to please, I think something's getting ready to break wide open. I don't know, maybe it's just the season we're in. Tensions are always high, November and December. But I just think something is really going to break open. So as many creators as we can get. We have one on here, Trev. Hang on, we have our friend Shannon, True Crime Beat. What's up?
Hello, good morning. Hi, Brandy. Huh?
You have to turn your app off because there's an echo. Echo. Did you fix it?
I think so. No, hold on.
Maybe she's streaming from the comments.
Okay. She's going to have to get that fixed on her end. All right. Here's something I put together for Michael. Oh, hang on. Well, hello, Prayer Garden.
Hello. How's everybody doing today?
You finally got you in my living room. I bombarded yours quite a few times.
Yeah. I try to, I stay quite busy. So I try to just stay in my own space. I don't go to other channels too often. How you doing, Brandy?
I'm here.
Girl.
It's nice to speak with you.
Hey, it's good to speak with you. Just know that God's with you, girl. Just know God's with you. This is a hard time, I know, but God's with you. And Michael will be found. He will be found.
Yes, he will.
Now,
I won't ever give up on that.
Daisy's God isn't with
Amen.
you. Sarah Wander's God isn't with you. The real God is with you.
Right.
Sarah Wanda thinks she's God.
Oh, her God.
God tells her a lot of stuff according to her.
I'm going to tell you, God, I wish I could talk to that Sarah for like 5 minutes, just 5 minutes. I would like to get a better understanding of her mental capacity, to be honest. You know, I mean, if there was anyone in that area to do something like this, it absolutely seems to be them people. I am sorry that they live in the community, right? I'm sorry that them people lived in that community. Just seems to be your luck, right? Just seems to be your luck to have somebody so mentally disturbed. And hell, you didn't have one. You had like 5 of them over there. You had her old man, and then you had 2 or 3 other people working off the same brainwave, which wasn't very much. All, you know, that was like a cesspool of real off the wall human beings. And, you know, the one thing that bothers me is she's putting it off on Stacy. I don't, something tells me no.
She puts it off on everybody except Brandon, the one that she wanted to give her a baby.
Exactly. I mean, what I'm trying to say is, if you take note, Candace is always, you know, you remember when she said, I suspect Dawn, and I expect Andy, and I expect Jody Sue, and I expect this. No, you know, we expect her. And, you know, what I'm saying is, from what I have seen of Monkey's case, now, I'm sorry, Brandy, but, you know, I haven't overly indulged in Monkey's case. But what I have seen in Monkey's case and reviewed, this Sarah Wanderers, she's not, you know, I don't suspect really Stacy. I'm not saying he didn't have a afterhand in it or he doesn't have some knowledge, but I really believe it was one of the other 2 sickos. I really believe that because it was Sarah and them 2 guys out running around that day.
Yep.
In the vehicle. I honestly believe that it was one of them 2 other guys that actually did whatever was done. And
not to interrupt, and I'm not body shaming anyone. Sarah can't catch a child. Stacy cannot do this.
Right.
It takes them 5 minutes to get situated in the car to get down the road, let alone abduct a child.
Well, I'm going to tell you, the guy in the hot tub. I'm not familiar with the other 2 guys' names, but I remember the guy in the hot tub. He definitely was hiding something.
Oh yeah.
You could tell he wanted to flee that hot tub as he was, you know, what I'm saying is he was holding it together to do what he was doing. He was mentally kept telling himself, stay calm, but you could still see it was the fright and flight type thing going on. He really, and the longer it went on, the more antsy he started getting, in that hot tub, right? So with that being said, I'd say him and the other guys, the two, if I was law enforcement, him and the other guys, the two I would want, because it's one of them two, and you would have to break one of them. The one that didn't do it would, I believe, break out of fear and tell. That's my opinion. But as far as Sarah goes, she's saying, I'd rather Stacy take the fall and go to prison than one of them other guys.
Those are a lot of good points. I also want to point out how the language of JD Huff had changed when it was, at first, it was firsthand knowledge of the abduction of Michael. Then it turned into are involved in the abduction of Michael, or involved and have firsthand knowledge in the abduction of Michael. So there's something there that they know. In my opinion.
From what little bit I'm gathering here, they had their eyes set. They had their eyes set upon your particular home. They had been in that area long enough at that Stacy's and that lady's house. One of them two guys had been either living there or staying there long enough to set sight upon Monkey and start watching.
Well, and like I've said before, I mean, we had a very, very similar routine, especially during the summertime, which, it had been very hot for a few months. And we'd wait till it cooled down. And so they could have easily seen us coming and going, because we'd walk down Arizona, we'd cross the street and walk down the sidewalk on 8th and then go down to the park. And we would come back from the park up 8th and go down Washington and walk up 9th to our house. It was our same path we took every day. So they could have easily seen us and been watching us. I don't even know.
And it seems that the Fruitland police understood that very well, July 28th of 2021, because they put this post out that says, we would like to thank the public for their help with searching for the lost child, but we need everyone to stay out of the area of Southwest 9th and Southwest 8th while we deploy a tracking dog.
Did any of them 4 people join in on the search? What I'm saying is, I know Sarah had Monkey's picture on her refrigerator. I heard that. But I'm saying, did any of them join in on the search? Was she putting Monkey's picture out on her Facebook? Was she out was any of them out in the neighborhood advocating, helping, look for the child?
Not that I've seen. And I saw a lot of faces, and I don't ever remember seeing any one of those faces.
So basically, it was
That's right. Stacy did change his Facebook picture. I don't know about Sarah.
Oh, okay.
He changed his picture to that of Little Monkey on August 1st, 2021.
Okay. Yeah. So I think Stacy did have some insight. I think he did have some insight on on one that Sarah must have shared some info. Do I think Stacy's guilty? No. Of doing what was done, I don't. Because why? Because do I think Wanda's holds all the answers to exactly what happened to Monkey? Yes. Do I think that one of those other two guys are guilty? Absolutely. That's my opinion. That's just my opinion, though, from what I'm hearing. And I can tell you one thing about them other two guys. They are cowards. They would not be seen in public searching for any kid because they know it would bring too much attention to them.
Well, I mean, let's listen to Brandon in his own words. What he said. This is on Navalis. He clipped this from JLR. How he explains the day. This is just a snippet of it.
That day, I spent the night there because we came in towing my car from my mom's to their house. So we woke up and had breakfast and watched TV and coffee, and then we went, me and Sarah and one of our other friends that was there visiting for like a week or so because he came in from the airport. He was Adrian, and he had like kind of an afro, and we went and did kind of a YouTube video that day where we were trying to make music and kind of like a car crash scene. And we were hanging out with him doing that earlier. And then after that, me, Adrian, and Sarah went to Applebee's where we dropped him off there after me and Sarah got a chicken sandwich and a soda pop over there at the whatever restaurant, Popeyes. Sarah took me to lunch over at Popeyes, and she was going to buy a sandwich for me, Adrian, and her. But he said, my family's here. I want to see him. So I'm going to go to Applebee's and go over here and have dinner with them or lunch with them real quick. And then give me a little bit of time to do that. And then you guys come back and get me. We did that. And in the meantime, me and Sarah were bored just kind of driving around the mall and we didn't know what to do. So I drove back over to my house to get a water bottle and fill it up with water to bring back over to their house because I didn't like their water. And then during that time, after that, we came back to the mall and we picked up Adrian, me and Sarah, and then all three of us, Sarah, Adrian, and I, we hopped in the car and we went back to the Fruitland house. I think it was around like 6 or 7 at night. We were in that little 2016 Toyota Corolla. It's the blue one. So I asked them earlier that day if we could use their pickup to go to my house, my mom's house, and get my Mercedes-Benz and tow it back over there so I could work on it if I was going to be hanging out over there doing the taxi business. Yeah, I remember going to the gas station. We were probably at the gas station filling up like right at 7. We came back over there, and then right as soon as we were getting the car back to the neighborhood, the whole neighborhood was on high alert looking for the little boy, Michael Vaughn, and they said he went missing right that day earlier, right before we came in with the car we were towing. And then right as soon as that happened, I went out and tried to look for the kid with Sarah. We got in her little Toyota car and drove to the gas station and drove around after we got out of the pickup, and then tried to look in the field to see if he went down by the river or if he could be out just wandering lost. And, that's what hit my mind first. And then from there, it was me and Sarah. We went to the gas station, got some milk, and then did this and that and came back. And then right when we got back, Carson had his pickup next door with a light bar on it. So I said, hey, you need to start this up and kind of go look in the neighborhood and the farmer field and the river. We got to go find this missing person report that just came out,
Sarah Wandra, the woman.
Okay, so earlier.
All right, so how many inconsistencies can you even find in just that small clip?
Well, the one inconsistency that I find that stands out the most is there is no way in hell that you're able to do everything he's saying they done in that short of a time.
So the 911 call was at 7:21 p.m. Tyler had already been out up and down 8th, or excuse me, up and down 9th. I don't know if he made it into the neighborhood over in Hidden Meadows. I do know he went to Cornwall Way, where the park is, into that neighborhood. So his timeline doesn't make any sense.
What was
Unless they were in our neighborhood when Tyler was screaming and yelling, and the neighbors in our direct neighborhood on 9th were coming out to look for Michael.
What was the time frame that Michael came up? What was the last time stamp that Michael was seen?
6:40. Between 6:40 and 7 p.m. is what law enforcement and the FBI have concluded.
So, yeah. So what they did is they picked him up. They picked him up coming back to that vicinity is what they've done. One of the two men with her was the one that picked him up. And while you guys were looking for him, he was already in their custody. That's my opinion.
I agree.
Well, and he says around 7.
Now, he mentioned that they changed out vehicles.
Many vehicles that day.
No,
right.
He said that when they got back, if you go back and listen, he said when they got back, he told, I believe, the neighbor that they needed to get his vehicle and go looking for Michael. Am I correct? Correct?
He said they needed to find the missing persons report. The 911 call wasn't made.
No, he at one point said that
they switched vehicles when they got back to the house.
Exactly. Because Michael was probably in the one,
right?
That and they probably left him there. When they switched vehicles, they used a different vehicle. They couldn't drive around in the one they got because cops might search it. Sometimes they search vehicles coming in and out.
Yeah, they did.
So they didn't want it searched. Big red flag. They switched up vehicles. Now they're going to go out, and they wasn't looking for Michael. They were more scavenging to see, what area the most, how close to the vicinity of their home is all of this going on. They were more scoping as in what's going on,
They were trying to see if they were going to get caught.
Exactly. They wanted to be nosy. And and well informed of what was going on. And they used a different vehicle to get that done in. Wow. Yeah. That's what they did.
I agree.
Exactly. So, like I didn't think that Stacy, he seems too coward out to me. Too coward out. Too laid back. Basically just too lazy. To really, what I'm saying is this guy ain't outside chasing down kids. No way.
Right.
The guy in the hot tub, yeah, high suspicion. The other guy, I did get a view on him. If I had to say which one it was, I'd say the hot tub. I'd say the hot tub because he talked a little bit too damn much, and if you ask me, he's personally already implicated himself by saying, hey, we switched out vehicles. Could I see him running after a kid? Absolutely. Yeah, that's the one I would be setting my sights on. Definitely.
And Monkey, he's fast. He's a quick little guy.
And he was also the one, if you took note, he was also the one saying, we need to do this and we need to do that. We need to go and see what's going on. We need to switch out cars. We need, he is like the brains of the operation. So I would say he's the culprit as well.
Where are you, Brandon? Where's Michael?
Exactly.
I've got something to show you, Brandon. I've got something to show Adrian. I've got something to show Stacy. Hell, even Sarah. She might get to watch YouTube in jail. I go back to what, how could
He's such a happy little boy. One of them, they need to start talking. They need to tell me where Michael is. I need to be able to tell Michael's sisters and brother where he is.
Absolutely.
It has been 869 days that I can't call him up because Buggy wants to go see him. I can't take her to go see him. He hasn't, gotten to be here for her birthdays, his sisters, his Christmases, his birthdays. You had no damn right. And you need to start talking. Because like I said, I pinky promised and I'm never giving up. And I'm going to find out the answers and I'm going to find Michael and I'm going to bring him home. Sorry, Brooks.
No, honey, you're absolutely fine. Nobody can put themselves in your shoes. Nobody. In Tyler's shoes. In your daughter's shoes. Your son's shoe. Your little girl's shoe. Look at this, Adrian, Brandon, Stacy, Carson, Dorothy, Caesar, if you're allowed to have internet. Sarah, if you're allowed to have internet.
Which one?
That one. That one for Monkey and that one for me.
That's for you. We better keep him safe, okay?
Okay. I see a Wilming!
A balloon?
Yeah. Me and that monkey car.
And what do you see if you see Monkey's car?
Yeah, and he's that way or that way. Now which way?
You like that one?
He's getting closer.
Oh, Marshmallow.
You're sad about Monkey?
I am very sad about Monkey, my love.
Yeah, me too. I miss him.
I miss him so
Hey,
much.
let's draw him a picture.
Yeah, let's draw him pictures. More pictures? Lots of them?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, let's throw a picture at him and put it on the sidewalk. He see it.
Yeah?
I make a sign for him. I make a mermaid. He loves mermaids.
He loves mermaids. Okay. All right, well, let's go get the chalks. Mommy's got to go get them. How do you live with yourself?
I don't know how they can live with themselves. This little girl, she says, let's put a picture on the sidewalk, thinking that her brother will see it and he'll come home.
Mm-hmm.
How in God's name does people do things like this to babies? I don't know. I don't know.
She talks to him every day. She turned 2 years old a month after he was abducted. She's always thinking of him.
That little girl cannot stand to see you unhappy. She's trying, no child should have to try that hard to cheer up their mother. You shouldn't need cheered up. Your son should be right there with you, your daughter, and you should be the happy family that you're supposed to be.
Exactly. I don't understand how they could just
This is
watch our
the
family suffer this whole time.
this is
Please
the
tell me where
evil
Michael is.
evil humans. They don't care about the ratifications of what they do. That's why those type of people need to be taken out of our society. They need to be taken out of our society because it is crucial that our children and our families are safe. And most of the time, these people shouldn't have even been on the street when they have committed these type of crimes. They have already committed other crimes that should have had them locked away a long time ago.
Agreed.
Well, it seems like some of these politicians, like Mark Klass was saying, they spend more time keeping these people out of jail than keeping them in jail. Hell, in New York alone, they're shutting down one facility after another. No, let's say build them up.
Exactly. I agree with you. I agree. We need more, not less. That's true. Brandy, I am so sorry. I'm so sorry that you're going through all you are going through. Brooks is right. Unless this has happened to someone, they do not know. They have no understanding of what you're going through. I just pray that God lets you find some kind of peace and comfort in all of this. And I know that's hard to do. Hey, I got to go. Brooks, bud, thanks for having me.
Hey, anytime. If you check your Facebook Messenger, I sent you a couple of articles and that clip we just looked at.
I appreciate that, girl. God bless.
God bless. I'll see you on your show tonight. I might be asleep, but if not, I'll catch you on the replay.
I appreciate that, girl. Bye-bye. Take care, Brandy. Take care, honey.
Thank you.
Big round of applause for our friend Prayer. I think she had a lot of insight. Trev had to jump off. So after this, everybody jump into Trev time because he's covering another missing person in Tennessee. It's getting to be crazier and crazier. He does have a show planned for Michael Vaughn. Hopefully we can get Prayer Garden to do it. I know PJ reached out to me yesterday and said that both her and Dolly are going to, because something's getting ready to break.
Pray it does. And
Crime Beat is on it.
It's past time. It is beyond past time. It's time for our answers. It's time for Michael to be brought home. And it's time for these cowards to stop running and tell us the truth. Brooks, I got to jump down. The school was just calling, so I got to figure out what's going on.
Okay, no problem, hon. I'll talk to you in a little bit. All right, love you. Everybody, Brandy.
Bye, everybody. Thank you for being here for Michael. Thank you so much. Now have a good day.
Always. We're not going to stop.
I know. Bye, hon.
All right. Let's look at this one more time in case the suspects have any piece of their soul left. Thank you all very, very much for continuing to support the family, keeping Michael's name out there, keeping Michael's face out there. Several creators reached out to me yesterday and said, yeah, absolutely. Anything that I have, let me know. I'll send it right over to you. I saw a few people in chat saying, who's running the world now? The devil. And a lot of people are giving in to the nastiness that brings. I want to say thank you very much to Trevor for coming on the show, Prayer Garden, and as always, Brandy Neil. A couple of people couldn't connect, and I apologize. We'll get you next time. We had a lot of gifted memberships in here today. Thank you so much for that. Thank you for your donation to the channel. Mod Squad, always keeping it real. You guys are the absolute best. We actually have 2 shows tomorrow. We have a major update in a case that we have been covering for the last year. So please make sure you're notified. Make sure you're reminded. I'll see you back here tomorrow at 9 a.m. If I don't see you in Discord or one of the Facebook groups in between. You guys are the absolute best. Love you to pieces. Thank you for being the best chat and the best community on the tube.